Capricorn, this is your love and relationship reading for the month of July. And this forecast is for people who are newly dating or your relationship is not yet firmly established. Now, in the recent past, you have baggage and hanged man. So in the recent past, maybe you were waiting to take a trip. Maybe you were making some travel plans. Could be that you changed your mind about that. But in most cases, there's been some kind of disappointment. And perhaps there were issues centered around sacrifice, deception, betrayal. And perhaps the relationship is fraught with some kind of difficulty because either of you are carrying some type of emotional baggage. And so, it's hindered in some way by things that happened in the past. Issues of ego, childhood patterns, past relationships, a lot of things weighing down this relationship and creating blockages. And it required that you look at things differently, take a different approach. It could be that, a situation felt very heavy and that nothing was moving forward. Things were in limbo. So either of you may have had to really think about how much sacrifice you were willing to put in for the sake of this relationship. Was it necessary? Was it valid? Was there some kind of mutual goal or something bigger than the both of you? Or perhaps maybe there were issues of sacrifice that were needless. Somebody was taking on more or becoming a martyr for a cause with no kind of return on that investment. So you're looking at where there has been perhaps some delusion or illusion within the relationship, whether it was on the part of a partner fooling you or deceiving you in some way or vice versa, or you perhaps not seeing things clearly by choice. But something was weighing your relationship down. Presently, you have Knight of Pentacles and romance. Now, maybe this is, investment in a romance. Maybe you're connected to someone with strong earth, or this represents you. This could be Virgo, Capricorn. It could be Taurus, their sun, their moon, or their rising sign. Perhaps income or money is somehow tied to romance, or there's a heavy investment in romance. Or it may be that things are just dragging. This is the slowest night in the deck. So maybe you're just waiting and waiting and waiting for some kind of romantic gesture or an invitation or for something to move forward. Maybe you want more money spent toward romance or something that you have romanticized. Maybe you're investing in a pursuit that is, near and dear to your heart. In some cases, maybe there's a projection of what income is, and it's all a romantic fantasy that it's not real, and maybe there's a need for more grounding. Now, as an individual, this is someone who is usually faithful. They're putting in the effort, although it may be slow going. This is not the most exciting night. He's not, full of spontaneity and wild gestures, but he is reliable, dependable. Maybe you find him somewhat boring or dull, but he is very thorough. You can rely on him. Now, in the negative, though, there could be a secret love affair taking place, or maybe there's the perception of that. It may be that there are issues coming up about loyalty, devotion. How loyal are either of you to this relationship? And maybe there are questions. In the positive, this is a romance where you're taking your time, things are unfolding, you're trying to grow because you're looking at the long haul. Now, in the near future, you have the Lovers and intimacy. And so you're having to make a choice. Now, Perhaps it's about some type of romantic meeting. Maybe you're planning a romantic getaway. You want to invest in a romantic situation where you go off somewhere and spend some time with your partner. So some holiday or romantic getaway, you're making some choices. Others of you, you're looking at a critical point in the relationship where you're going to have to decide if you want to go down this road or that road. And either of those have very different outcomes. So it could be a troubling choice, a difficult choice. Now, it may be a choice of two opportunities, a choice between lovers. The intimacy card says there's the possibility for moving closer to someone and having deep conversations that take you in a place where you feel more comfortable connecting physically and intimately. But the Lover's card, puts you at a crossroads somehow. Some of you, maybe you're connected to someone who is at a popularity peak. Maybe there are a lot of demands for this person's attention or for yours. There could be a lot of suitors, a lot of interest. You may find that there are a great deal of distractions that get in the way of your intimacy. People wanting bits of your time or a pursuit here, people making calls to you, and it gets in the way of your intimate connection with your partner. In the positive, this is a choice to become more intimate, to become more physical, to become more connected on an emotional level. Negatively, there's some choices here that impact your intimacy. And for some of you, there may be a tie to a Gemini person, their sun, their moon, or their rising. So there's a choice to be made that affects intimacy. And, there could be a duality here. Maybe sometimes a partner acts one way and then they act differently. Or there's some kind of fickleness or there's some kind of deception taking place. Now, the relationship will be played out through what archetype? This could be the role you're taking on or your partner, or it's interchangeable. You could be operating in the light or operating in the shadow. The archetype is Virgin. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean sexually. This could be a purity to something. The light attribute is maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. So you have cards here that show some kind of deception or duality, or, something is presented one way and then there's a reversal. There's something else going on. And so it could be, is there pure intention here, or is there something behind the agenda? In the shadow, there's fear of intimate union. And so that may be why things are going so slowly. There could be issues connected to addiction, or maybe there are issues connected to beliefs or value systems that get in the way, that block your intimacy, or it could be outright deception. There is a lot of baggage from the past that may or may not have anything to do with your partner. Or, it could be that either of you are still dealing with, old matters, old imprints, old conditioning, old belief systems. So in the positive, this is being pure, acting without any kind of pretense or falsity in your connection. Now, what is the other person thinking that you may not be aware of? I can't, or I won't. Now, either way, that's the same outcome. But what is that intention behind it? I can't because what? There's something holding me back, external circumstances, or something I'm still struggling with or working through, or I won't because I refuse to, or I don't want to. So that's something that knowing your partner, you have to determine. The lesson in this relationship is I am aware of the difference between love and passion. So you have a lot of focus here on hang-ups, baggage, intimacy. And again, some kind of duality. You know, love and passion can be two very different things. Love can carry a lot of passion in the relationship, but passion, just simply for desire's sake, may mean that there's no real love involved. So you may be very discerning. Maybe that's the choice you're making. You are very discerning about who you take into your intimate space, who you're willing to share with on an intimate level, which that's good. You know the difference between love and passion, or you're learning that difference, or your partner is. The advice card is listen and learn. So perhaps part of this new approach, different angle at creating intimacy in your partnership is to become a real observer so that you can know the difference, so that you can be discerning in what the intentions are of a relationship. And you do that not so much by talking, by putting, your opinion out there or imposing your belief on the other person, but listening to what the other person has to say. And you learn by taking that in. Perhaps you change your perspective. You learn something new about the other person or about yourself. But you can only do that by opening up your ears and your heart to observe and take whatever is being presented, take it in. Now, the underlying energy is Death and 10 of Pentacles. So for some of you, perhaps there is a Scorpio tie as well. But this is maybe a death in the family or a death of a situation. It could be that you are interested in something for the long term. You're not just interested in a physical connection. It has to work on all levels, emotionally, spiritually, financially, intellectually, because you're looking at creating something with a partner that lasts into the long term. So some of you, there's a focus on investing in a relationship where there's a legacy. You grow old together, you create a stability, security, a foundation for yourself, your children, into the future. There could be issues connected to large sums of money here. It could be you're looking at inheritance or taxes or debt. You're taking into consideration financial issues and emotional security and the interplay between the two. So financial history may be a part of this relationship. Perhaps it's part of the baggage you carry or how much you want to invest in a relationship to create greater intimacy. There could be psychological issues, compulsions, obsessions, things that have to be worked through. And perhaps the history of that is important. It could also be a sexual history of hang-ups, of religious or spiritual beliefs, family patterns that condition how you respond on both an intimate level, physically or emotionally, to a partner. But whatever is happening requires a surrender of some sort, either to external circumstances, that of a partner, or conditions. And it requires that you put the effort in to improve a situation or let it go, because there's a death here, the death of an aspect of yourself, the death of the relationship, the death of some part of your partner, in order to make way for something new. This is about regenerating, if it's worth it, but releasing the parts of whatever this is that no longer serves a purpose. So you are closing out some type of cycle that probably feels very intense, perhaps very stressful. And some of the events that take place during the month may feel like you're going through a crisis, but the point is to create some type of positive transformation at the end of the day.